This is going to be the dress I'm making. It's not stretchy. It's not a two-way stretch or a knit. Like, it's a little bit givey. But yeah, the pattern calls for a stretch. This is the one I'm doing. But it's too long. I don't like the long. I like it above my knee. So here's my pattern. I've marked 6 inches higher than the actual hemline on the pattern, which will allow me to have a really big hem or even take a little bit more off to make it shorter. So I've just estimated 6 inches off to hopefully be a good length for me. Time to cut my pattern. Here it is all cut. The leftover piece for the original I'm just going to fold up and keep in the pattern piece in case I want to do a long dress at some point. And the reason why I said this isn't stretchy fabric, which this pattern calls for, is I'm going to have to put a zip in this because it doesn't give. So my hope is that this will work. We'll see. I already made one boo-boo cutting my everything out. These are the shoulder straps. This one doesn't stretch because I cut on the grain line. This one I've cut almost on the bias, so I have to cut another piece out. I really dislike this way of doing these. They say stitch down there and then just, you know, flip it back out to the right side as if it's the easiest thing in the world to do. It's not though. I mean, I could have stitched this a little bit narrower along the edge. Or I could have just ironed it and folded and stitched it like I do with bias binding, and it would have looked better as well, because I don't like the finish of this. It would look better if I had done it how I want to do it, but anyway, I'm going to stick with what the pattern's telling me to do. For the most part though, I'm not against not following everything in the pattern, but I want to do enough to make it look nice. Oh, this sucks. Never again. Oh, this kind of bugs me when you cut it, how the pattern says, but then it's just a little bit out on both sides. And I think, which one do I match up? Should I do the top or should I match it up to the bottom? If I do the bottom, that means I just gotta trim it flush, which I think I'll do. Let's put you back here. Look really unprofessional because maybe I won't feel like cutting that out. You can just get the unedited version. Oh look, I've got my notches here. So the notches are matching up, so I'll just have to trim the tops down, I think. I hit my first snag, which I should have expected. I need to put a zip in this material because it won't stretch over me. So I can't stitch both sides together yet, obviously, you know, which I just discovered. So I'm going to go forward in the pattern and see what steps are next and see how I make this work. I think what I'm going to have to do is have a zip that goes from there down into part of the skirt as well. So it would probably go maybe to like, I don't know, just below, on the side of my hip. I'll have to figure it out. I only stitched like half of it. All these little circles and things, so I have to not stitch between these two on both sides, which is where the strap I think is going to eventually go between. Then I stitch over that after, but I just don't stitch over there. And go all the way down to my end opening, which I have to leave open. This one is the one I just did. Stopped between my two dots. Okay, I figured it out. I'm supposed to now stitch a 1/4 inch from the edge all the way down here, just along the back piece. And then I have to get some elastic. Ooh, so much. I'm going to get some elastic after I do that casing effect and put it in between it. So it'll go in between these two layers. It is a new day and I'm going to start on the skirt. Here's where the front is up to. They didn't call for understitching, but I did because it will give it a better finish. And I don't like, they didn't even tell you how to finish this, to be honest. So I overlocked it and I'm probably going to do a strip like this, like a bias, and stitch it over here so you don't see any stitching. So I'm going to leave the top half finished for now, and then it's just joining the skirt pieces together for now. I was wrong again about something. I cut out one piece that was wider than everything else, but I had to cut 2 out. Now I got to cut out another piece. I'm glad I overbought my material because I didn't think that I would need this much. Whoops! Okay, here's the problem. I don't have enough material to cut this on the fold. So, what I'm going to do instead is try and cut one of these smaller pieces out because I only need it to be in the middle front. I'm just going to cut out one of these and hopefully that will make up the remainder of what I need for the front. Yep, that'll work. That should work. I think I bought 3 meters of this material and it was $10 a meter, I'm pretty sure, on special. So this dress will cost me about $30 to make. Ooh, I might have to do the seams a little bit narrower. Well, I also am going over this skirt as well, so it's a little bit tight, but that will work. So here's the pockets, 2 on each side, and I have to pin 2 more on this. And then to stitch it, because they're the pockets, you don't go down there, you stitch to where your marks should be from the pattern pieces, but I don't know if they stayed on my material, so I'll just have to probably guesstimate it. Stitch down part way and then down along the bottom to a certain point again, and then down the sides, and then flip it inside out and your pocket will be inverted and you got a pocket. So here's the bias that I made. Just got to pin it all along here. Ooh, I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. I do need some work though with trying to keep my, look, see my overlocking stitch. I didn't want to be seeing that, but anyway. I need to overlock and finish this, But yeah, I just found it a little bit hard to try and keep the stitch the same spot. See here, I went really close to the edge, which was accidental. Yeah, I need to work on it. But that's much better than seeing an overlocked seam. Right, I have tested this skirt and it does fit over my head and won't go over my hips, so that's fine. I need to now try and put my zip in the side where I've undone it and join that with the top. I have to see if I have to put the top on first, and then yeah, that's probably the smart way to do it. It is blowing a gale outside. You might get a storm. Right, zip, pin it like this so that it's invisible. I'm going to just do one side, pin it down one side, stitch down, and then when I get to the bottom I'm just going to cross over and then hand hold it and stitch on the way back up, and hopefully I'll get it to meet exactly where it's supposed to meet. So these straps now have to go forward up into the little holes that are in the front here. But I think they say you put them in like this. Supposed to push it through into this little opening and stitch it down. And then once it's stitched there, you flip it out. There is the strap. Turn it this way a bit. Here it is. I'm going to do the hem now, which is the last thing to do. We'll see if it's too hard to do like a deep hem, because the material is going to be longer on the inside than the bottom. I might have to just do a short double rolled hem. I'll work it out. The hardest part is going to be dealing with this. Let's try and baste it and pull it together. Basted. And to make it fit, you just pull on it and then ease out the ruffles a bit. It will stitch in these little bumps, but I guess it's better than it doing this and being stitched over if I was to do it without this basting stitch. It's going to take a while though. What feels like took forever is finally done. So they're the stitches that I did to actually hold it down. I know it's not perfect, but I tried to make it half decent. I really care about this. Once I iron this out, I don't want this to be pointing anywhere, like having sharp edges or angles on it. And this stuff now I have to pull out all of my basting stitches. It looks so messy, that's why I want it out. Okay, here is the final result. Looking at the inside, I'm not actually embarrassed to even show this, right? It could be better, but it's not too bad. The pockets, I ended up just overlocking, not too bad. This, if I was to do it again, I would definitely make like what I did up here with the bias and do something like that over here, because I don't really like the finished edge, don't like to be seen. And I also would put in a lining here because I don't like that it's a single piece of material. And possibly you could put like the, what do you call the inside bra piece, like a separate thing, so you don't have to wear a bra and show your other straps. I would change that. But anyway, show you the outside. Here it is. I forgot to mention as well, if you remember how I said I needed to cut out an extra piece that I forgot about, but then I didn't have enough material. So I did a narrow strip instead, which was one of these side ones. It threw off everything. I probably could have done better at trying to match it up, but the center here does not line up. And so one of the pockets is also a bit more to the inside than the outside. But if you're looking at it quickly and not paying too much attention, you can't actually tell. Very nice circle skirt. Happy with it. If I was to make this again, I would make it out of like a jersey so that you're not getting this kind of bagginess around. I actually don't mind it though because it is a summer dress and it will probably make it a little bit more breezy, but I wouldn't do the zip again because sometimes it does that and pokes out. But all in all, it's very cool.